The woman didn't reply. She stood with her eyes closed, swaying on the spot when suddenly the light went out. In the light from the torch, Alicia saw her falling to her knees, sobbing. She rushed forward, forgetting all caution, and took her in her arms and pulled her close. The embrace didn't last long. Almost as quickly as it had begun, the woman stopped crying and dried her tears. Alicia looked at her. "Are you okay?" she asked. "No. Hermes died. We had an accident." The words triggered memories of the logbook, and Alicia tensed up. What had happened? How many had they lost? And was there still someone out there, lost after the ship had broken? Or was the woman alone? She trembled as she asked, "Is there someone else with you?" The woman shook her head, and the entries from the accident flashed before Alicia. No, it couldn't be. Not another accident. Not leaving this woman alone. It wasn't fair. She fought against her tears when the words from the captains of the past spoke to her from the entries, and she took a deep breath. They had been here too, in the same situation. What had they done? They had cared for the others. They had been there for them. She took a deep breath. She would do the same. She swallowed her tears and looked at the woman. She didn't seem to be hurt, at least not physically. Still, she would have to get her checked. She took her hand and helped her stand, pushing the questions that begged to be answered away. "Come," she said. "I'll take you to the medical unit. I'm Alicia, captain of the month. You come to Einstein. You're safe here." The woman nodded, and they began to walk down the dark corridor. Alicia couldn't keep her thoughts still any longer, and question after question whirled around in her mind. Who were they? Was someone looking for them? Would they be rescued? She glanced at the woman. Her gaze was vacant as she walked, and Alicia wondered if she was aware of where she was any longer. The questions pushed at her mind, and she opened her mouth to speak only to close it again. No, you can't ask her those questions yet, she thought. Wait until she feels better. So instead, she said, "Were there others with you?" "Yes." Alicia pushed back the tears that rose at the thought of what had happened and turned to the woman, taking her hands. "I'm sorry." The woman just nodded in reply, and they continued down the dark corridor. As they arrived at the medical unit, they stepped inside and an automatic light went on. It revealed a room full of machines lining the walls. They were barely used any longer, and dust had settled over the surfaces. None of the people on board knew how to operate those machines any longer, and the doctors that had been on the ship had long since died or perished in the accident. The only thing that had been passed down through the generations was how to check for radiation damage. Alicia gestured at the woman to stand in the machine closest to her, praying that Jeff was still asleep. She didn't want him to try to walk all the way here to check what was taking the electricity. It was such a long walk for an old man. She pressed the button, and the machine came to life, slowly rotating around the woman's body. She stood watching the room now, curiously serene, as if she had all the time in the world and just wanted to observe it. She must be in shock, Alicia thought. Was it too late already? Would the woman die the kind of horrible death that she had read about in the logbook? She took a deep breath but couldn't stop the tears from spilling over. "Why are you crying? Has something happened?" The woman calmly turned to her, and Alicia looked at her through the tears. I need to take her to Jeff when this is done, she thought. Ask him what to do about the shock. She dried her tears and heard a beep from the machine, signaling that the scan was done. She looked at the screen, searching for the information she knew how to interpret. When she found it, it showed her that the woman was clean. There was no radiation damage. She breathed a sigh of relief, then gestured for her to step out. Taking her hand, Alicia asked, "What's your name?" They walked back to the bridge in silence, Alicia holding Bianca's hand for comfort. She was calmly watching her surroundings, and once again Alicia wondered if she was still aware of where she was. She thought back on the captains of the past, and decided that she would be there for Bianca, whatever she needed. Does it seem strange to you? Did Alicia care so much for this stranger? Maybe. But the people of Einstein had learned the hard way what it meant to be there for others. You see, it hadn't always been like this. In the entries of the logbook, in the more personal notes from the captains, you could read about the change that had happened after the accident. In the first centuries, before, as the ship was new, it was the dream that held them together. Their vision of finding somewhere to settle and a new place for humanity. That vision brought them forward, formed friendships, and built the ship. Back then, the ship had bustled with people, and not everyone knew each other. There were way too many members to know each one personally. But all that had changed after the accident. That day, they had lost many members, and in the aftermath, even more. Almost everyone had lost someone from their family. And the dream had changed, going from finding somewhere to settle to surviving. The original vision only lived on the pages of the logbook now. And as you can imagine, such an accident doesn't leave the people untouched. That's what the entries from the captains spoke about. How they became a family after the accident, regardless of their biological bond. Care for each other came naturally, and it was extended to everyone. They arrived at the bridge, and as they entered, Alicia saw that Jeff was still sleeping in his chair. Relieved to see that he didn't seem to have noticed the extra power usage, she walked over to him and put a hand on his shoulder. "Jeff, wake up." He stared, slowly opening his eyes, and smiled. "Did you fix it?" he asked. "No, I found someone." Jeff looked at her, confused. "Found someone? What do you mean?" Alicia took a step aside, revealing Bianca standing some distance away. Jeff squinted, trying to make out her features in the poorly lit room. Alicia put a hand on his shoulder. "They had an accident. She's the sole survivor." He pushed himself from the chair and hobbled over to Bianca, one hand stretched out to greet her. She didn't take it, or show any signs that she had seen it. Unmoved, Jeff wrapped his arm around her shoulders instead and gestured towards the chair. "Please, sit," he said. "Everything is okay. You're safe now." Bianca walked over to the chair and sat down, and he put his blanket around her. She looked at it. "I'm not cold," she said. Jeff and Alicia exchanged looks. She really is in shock, Alicia thought. Jeff said, Is she okay? Alicia understood what he asked about and nodded. I ran her through the machine. She's free from radiation. He nodded. Go and tell the others, he said. I will stay here. Alicia nodded and left for the biosphere.